My name's Robert. I'm 68 years old. I'm rebuilding a car. I already did a Trans Am. So I don't know what I'm doing, but I enjoy doing things that I've never done before. And I've never done this car, so this is what I'm doing. It doesn't mean I'm doing it right. It's kind of a motivator. Go do it. Go try to do something you've never done. It's fun. Showed it. But I did get this panel all welded on. But I also noticed right here was rotted. So even when you're grinding, the metal gets hot. So just keep going back and forth. Okay, I got this panel all welded up, except for down there. But while I was here, I decided to sand the paint on it. Again, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's fun. I like doing it. So, I noticed that as it heated, it came up in some spot. You can just feel it. So, if it's up a little bit, I just want it down so I can float over it. So I kept this edge and I kept that edge with paint on it. That's my, that's what I'm following. So if anything, again, this is how I do it. I'm not saying. I feel good about that. This edge looks good. What I want to say is I enjoy doing things I've never done. I know I said this before, but like this car, for instance, I'll just give you a look underneath. Okay, so I cleaned up the car and the floor, blew it outside, and swept up what I needed. But anyway, so here's the bottom of the fender. I'm just going to push on it. I can tighten that more. Okay, here's a bad spot. I didn't notice. Here's the fender well. Piece is folded over. I have to weld that back. But that's, so I'm just going to put the clamps on. I bought these. I think I showed it. They're like $3 each. I'm going to go a little closer. You can see there's a little dent here. That might have been from when I dropped it, or I think it because it got hit. So this is going to have to go in a little bit. And that line up. I line that line up. You can see there's a little dent, but it doesn't matter. But this panel was actually a hair lower. I had to make a cut. Let's see, I made a cut right here, I think. So I could bend, yeah, I made a cut right here so I could lift this up to line up. So it's a little, so I need a little bit of work in here to make it perfect. Up there it went right together because that's where I started. A peanut shell. Here's the passenger side, same thing. It rotted right on that brace. Around that brace, water gets stuck there. It's okay down here, but right there. And I ran out of wire, welding wire. Yeah, I just thought I'd show this. And by the way, I had surgery up here and they yanked out a tooth. So I was out of it for a day and a half. But anyway, I ran out of wire in my Miller 211, and I'm just going to show you, for anybody that doesn't know, how to replace it. I mean, it's already in, so I'm going to explain it the best I can with it already in. This stupid door doesn't stay up. But anyway, so here's the reel. Unscrew this. See that? And then take the reel off. You just tighten it. And then make sure the wire comes down from the top. Then it goes through that hole right there. And then it goes through, let me turn my light on. That's why I got it, I can't see in there. So if you look real close, if you can see that, there's 3 different slots in here. So I think it says 30, 35, and 24. This is 23 wire. So if you just push this thing in, if you just push it in, and like this, I can't do it right now, and turn it, it's got like, if you look, there's different depths inside this. So right now it's on 0.23, I think, or 2.4. I can't see it from where I'm sitting. So so what it was, well, let me just explain it. So you see that, how I did that? You drop that lever, push this in, and one of these, you can adjust it to different size wire if you see that. I know I'm not explaining this that great. And you can also put it in, and there's one slot that it'll come all the way out. But anyway, so put the wire through here, feed it into this thing right here, and you see how far away that is from this wheel? Get it about as close as you can. This piece right here, you can adjust it with that nut. So now that it's in, put this down, put this up. That actually, it does a tension on the wire. So if your wire is too, like it's not slipping through, let me see if I can see it on here. See, there's a setting here, 3/4. But right now it's perfect right where it is. So I'm going to put this, so you can see that wheel. That wheel's going to go down and push that wire. This is what turns to push the wire through. So now we're going to put that in. This is going to like pre-tension it. So I guess if it's slipping, this could be too loose. Tighten it. Then just push your trigger until the wire comes through. Now, one of the problems, I haven't switched wire in here like in 5 years, so I had forgotten some of the stuff. But when all of a sudden you run out of wire and you're going, what's going on? Is it welded shut? You know, in these tips, once in a while that happens. So when I opened this up, this wire, you know, it was gone off the reel, and when I lifted this up, the wire was right there with a bend in it. At the end of this reel, there's a bend. So I said to myself, how do I get this wire out? Well, first of all, I gotta cut that off, but I couldn't cut it off because it was too, I couldn't get cutters in there, or at least I couldn't get cutters that were handy. So you see the way this hose right here is in a kind of a circle? Well, I had it even tighter than that. So if you're having trouble getting that wire moving, like I wanted to pull it out, I couldn't. So get this hose out straight, so because every turn is a little bit of tension. Straighten out the hose like way over to there. Then I grabbed it on that end and pulled it out. I couldn't get enough leverage here. So anyway, I think that's it. I'm gonna put this in, close it. So inside here, and don't be touching that stuff, but inside here I have some tips. Let's see, what does this tip say? I can't read it. But sometimes when you're welding right here, you see that piece of weld right there? The wire will weld itself right there. Most of the times you can just kind of scrape that off and pull it out. And so anyway, I can only do this with one hand. So this then slides over the wire like that. If I can do it with one hand. You just tighten this in, hold my knees. Then I got these pliers here. These happen to be Miller pliers, but you see that slot right there. You just fit right over that, so I just tighten it up. Doesn't have to be extremely tight, just snug it up. Then take this shield here, I'm grabbing it. So this is the shield. The gas comes out of these little nozzles here, see? So this shield you put on here like this. Just push it on. And I just usually keep it just about like that. Just kind of flush. I don't know what's right because I'm not a welder. And also these pliers, you notice there's a cutting edge on one side. Put it through this way. When you accidentally push the button, it happens all the time. When I push it through and push this side, because the cutter is on that side, it leaves just about the right amount. Anyway, that's the lesson on that. So I'll push the button. It's coming out. Okay, you can weld like that, but it's just a pain. So then I'll take my pliers. Again, if I cut it this way, it cuts it too close. So just flip these around. And there we go. And that's it. That's all I'm going to go into about this. This is just about changing the wire. Also, I can't remember where I was. Again, I went to the, let's see, I went to the oral surgeon because my tooth was starting to hurt when it was cold. Yeah, you still get cavities when you're old. So I got this patch on. I didn't weld it all the way up. I got this patch on. And I started doing this one. This is where I ran out of, no, I ran out of wire right over there. And then I cut this one. Again, I can't remember what I show. But so the gap you want when if you're doing it, watch, I'm gonna get it just about. You want just like a 1/16. If you can do that, you're perfect. This piece I pre-cut, and so that's it. I'm not gonna do it today because I'm still not feeling that great. But I wanted to get the wire in. And let's see what else. Well, that's it for now. And then I've been thinking about how to make this piece, and I'll go into that maybe in this one video, but this piece has to be replaced. But it's got a lot of shapes to it. I think I know how to do it. I'm probably just going to do it from like to here for now. One piece. So that's it. Okay, and also in case I didn't explain it, I'm looking at my piece on the car over there. If you go to a channel called Fritz's Fabrication, kind of a jolly guy, kind of like my size, or Half-Ass Customs, they go over a lot how to do these kind of panels where you cut the panel big, you just lay it on the car, you know, you shape it, put it on the car, tack weld it, and then just cut. I think he calls it cut and patch or patch and cut. It's the easiest way because you don't have to cut anything perfect. So Fritz's Fabrication and Half-Ass Custom, those are two really good channels for guys that work with metal. There's guys that are better, but I like these because they're more like me, I guess. Yeah, I just decided to talk about this welder a little bit more. So it's a Miller-Matic 211. Maybe this is in the way. Yeah, there we go. So there's a bunch of instructions on here, which we're not going to go over. But it does say, it will talk about what size wire, what gauge metal, steel, what your settings are supposed to be on here. And it's also got an automatic mode. And you know, to be honest with you, I cannot remember how to set it on automatic. You see it says auto set? So that leads me to the next thing I wanted to say. So my shop is not, my house is way up on the hill up there. But when I bought this place, there was a cabinet in here. Like, this is one of the few things I kept. But I try to stay organized. So any tools I buy, I throw the brochures or warranties or whatever in here. Again, if you want to be organized and you want to be able to find stuff later. So just like right now, I realized I could not remember how to put it on the automatic settings. So I found this book in there. And another thing I had forgotten, this welder can be ran off 110 or 220. And obviously, the higher amps or the 220, the thicker the metal. But right there at this plug, which I'll just go over and show you quick. You can see there's a 110 plug on there. And there's a 220. I cannot find that other piece. It might be around here somewhere. Who knows? But I use it on 220 anyway. So right here, you just unscrew that thing, and you can switch the end to make it 110. So we'll just go back and look at this picture one more time. So when I unscrew that, right now, there's like 4 connections in here. So I cannot find, there's a 110 plug, and either it didn't come with it, or it doesn't matter. Anyway, it's a 220 or a 210. But I'm going to take this up to read about how do you put it on the automatic settings. Here's some more information, just real quick. 120, 220. So I'm going to read this later when I'm sitting down and I don't feel like doing anything. And let's see what else. You guys probably hate all this stuff. Or whoever watches. I don't know if anybody watches me. Let's see. I also bought, my glasses keep fogging up. Driving me nuts. So this is supposed to, it says for anti-static, anti-fog formula. So on the way home from the dentist, the old lady drove me over there. Got some wire, I got this, and I got something else. Well, I also bought some Kikos. I might need them, which we'll show later. And so far, I've been cutting all my metal out of this one panel. You know, I've been wondering, is this the same shape as that? I mean, to me it seems like they can't be because it's an opposite. Let's see. Trying to look at this. The point is towards the top. I don't know, man. It looks like it might work, except it's screwed up here. But that would save me a whole bunch of work. It's basically pretty good, except for right here. Anyway, something I'm gonna check out. It's Friday. I probably won't get back to this until next week. That's where I'm at.